Every generation has a rivalry that defines it. For the United States, it's this one, USA versus Mexico. Two nations, one passion, and 90 minutes that feel like destiny. This isn't just football, it's pride, it's identity. It's about who owns the moment when the stadium shakes and the anthem fades. For decades, these colors have collided on the same field, red, white, and blue against green and gold. Each match writes a new chapter in a story older than some of the players themselves. Every tackle feels personal. Every goal feels historic. Because when these two meet, the world watches, but America feels it in its heart. Scene 4, Intensity Rise. Every tackle feels personal. Every goal feels historic. Because when these two meet, the world watches, but America feels it in its heart. And as the lights go out and the crowd roars, one truth remains. This rivalry never dies. It only waits for the next whistle. June 8, 1969, Tegucigalpa, Honduras. The Salvadoran team arrived to chaos. Their hotel was surrounded by screaming fans all night long. Firecrackers exploded, glass shattered, and the players couldn't sleep even for a moment. When the match began, the crowd's roar felt less like excitement and more like rage. Every kick was personal. Every foul, a message. Every goal, an act of war. El Salvador lost that night. But the next day, tragedy struck. A young Salvadoran girl, heartbroken by the loss, took her own life. Her funeral was shown on national TV, the coffin wrapped in the national flag. The commentators wept on camera. To the people, it wasn't just football anymore. It was national honor. June 15, 1969, 1 week later. The second match was set in San Salvador, the capital of El Salvador. Now it was Honduras's turn to face the storm. As the Honduran players' bus entered the city, stones and bottles rained down on it. The windows shattered. One player whispered, "This isn't a game anymore." Inside the stadium, the air was thick with anger and revenge. When the whistle blew, it was chaos. Elbows, tackles, fights. The game turned brutal. El Salvador scored, and then another. When the final whistle blew, they had won. But outside, the crowd went wild. Flags burned, cars overturned, and before sunrise, the Salvadoran Air Force had bombed Honduras. What started as a football match had now become a real war. The world was in shock. For the first time in history, a football match had started a war. Tanks rolled across borders. Planes dropped bombs. Civilians fled in terror. It was short, only 4 days long. But it was brutal. Over 2,000 people died. Thousands of homes were destroyed. And still, both sides claimed they were defending honor. The international media named it La Guerra del Fútbol, the football war. But the truth was darker. Football didn't start the war. It only revealed the hate that was already burning inside. After 4 days of blood and smoke, a ceasefire was finally declared. But peace didn't come through politics. It came through football. Weeks later, an international friendly match was held, not for victory, but for forgiveness. Two rival nations, two broken teams, walked into the same stadium, and when the ball rolled again, something magical happened. For the first time in months, there was no shouting, no hate, no war. Just the sound of a ball, bouncing on green grass. That match didn't make headlines. No one called it historic. But maybe that was the moment when humanity finally won. Because sometimes a game can do what weapons never can. It can remind us who we are. Today, decades later, the football war has become a forgotten chapter in history books. But it leaves behind one truth. When nations choose pride over peace, even a game can turn into a tragedy. And yet, when people choose forgiveness, even war can end with a single kick. This was not just the story of a war, it was the story of us all. Because in the end, we are all just players, trying to win a game called peace.